Welcome back. So finally the moment has come to unbox my new lathe from KS Schulte, assemble it and finally get back to orders and customers after 2 days. So I already have a sneak peek, so yeah, you can't blame me, I guess. What I'll do actually is do just a quick unboxing portion of all the parts. There are not many of them, but at the bench I'll show you everything in more depth and explain actually why I said yes to this offer and how I got this lathe and so on. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so finally at the bench, just open up the tool rest. This is faceplate. This is a 95mm faceplate, so a lot bigger than what you usually get with Midi lathes. Have to clean it. So this is a revolving center, a cone, so that's looking lovely. This then will be the spur drive. And these are other bits and bobs. So a little adjustable feet, which I won't need. I'll mount this directly to my bench, which I'll show you actually later, all the setup once I'm done. Big wrench for removing faceplate. And knockout bar. Now at the first glance this is actually a little bit bigger than on the REGENT, so I just slide this off. You can see how it looks. It's a really hefty piece of tailstock banjo as well. And this rag is full of it. So this is the manual. I cleaned every cast iron part on the lathe from the grease. So the manual is actually extremely well. So this is from KS Schulte, which I got the lathe from, and they took a lot of time to make this manual happen. It's really detailed. So on the assembly, on the turning as well, so if you're starting out and you don't know the speed or the anything like that, so they have covered a lot of beginner stuff, so how to do it safely. some of the basic turnings and stuff like that. So really good manual. And okay, so the inverter is bolted on. That was quite easy. So the next thing is to feed the wire through. So and like I said, just feed this little guy in. Okay, so here is the wire from the inverter, here is the other wire inside, and what you have to do is feed this sleeve over. Once they both come out, and now just connect to these jacks too. It is a bit fiddly with bigger fingers, I gotta say, but this one goes like this. Okay, and you just put the sleeve back on over there, like so. And that's it. Close the lid. Now you can use the screw. I don't think I'll actually ever change the belt ratio, but just put it together for now at least. So that's the overall lathe assembled. Now I'm going to flip this around, bolt it down to the bench, and take it from there. It will be just checking if the bed extension fits. I did this rough calculation of the length of the bench, but it does fit, or at least it should fit. So 600 mil, I have plenty more, so that's good. Alright, so finally all assembled. That took around maybe 30 minutes or so. So let me just walk you through first with the bench here. So it's a 25 mil, that's what I had here in the shop, a 25 mil thickness melamine board, and it's really rugged, and you can see here it's bolted down to the floor because I went to the narrow side for now, and there is a counter bolt here, so this thing is rock solid and not moving anywhere. Now this space I left open for now because I'm waiting on dust collector to come, which I'll make a video on the upgrade, and I still have to put the shelf here, and I'm waiting, like I said, on the bed extension, so I'll do that video as well. For the star of the show, so this is Midi II Plus lathe. There was a Midi II before, now it's a Plus model. They beefed it up considerably. There is a Pro model as well with the swivel head, but the rest of it is pretty much the same. First of all, to get this out of the way, I did get this lathe for free from KS Schulte, so thank you Jens once again for providing this. Now obviously something in return is to make videos with it, and that's no problem. And the only condition from them was actually to make an honest review of the lathe after maybe before Christmas, something like that. So it's a 1 horsepower inverter, so 3-phase motor with inverter here at the back, and it's 53 kilos, I believe. Everything is cast iron. So this one doesn't have the swivel head, which I actually prefer to be fixed. Like on the REGENT, the head could slide and twist, rotated, but I never used that function, to be honest. So before I move on with the other features, I just want to get out of the way as well. Most of you wonder why I get this smaller lathe instead of the big one. First reason is I want to show you that you don't have to buy expensive big lathes to accomplish or make a living wood turning. So this is a decent size motor. It's a 1 horsepower. It's plenty strong for this size lathe or whatever you can turn on it. So that's one reason. When I started make this for a living, I had a DML 320 from Record Power, and that lathe put the food on the table. So don't think that only because the lathe is small you can't make a living out of it. So you just have to make it work, let's say. The way I do it is I don't buy legs for it. I just make a solid bench because this is sturdy as hell. It's stable, heavy, and it reduces vibrations quite a lot. So the other reason that I want to mention is I'm going to buy a bigger lathe eventually, but not by much. So the reason is this has a swing of I believe it's 14 inches. I don't know in inches, but the 355 mil diameter could fit on it. And for customers, for clients, I've never turned anything bigger than 12 inches or 320 mil. I just never got the need or the orders actually request for something like that. So everything that I do can fit on this size lathe. And once the bed extension is here, I can turn longer spindles up to 1 meter, I believe, 1030 mil. So it's a nice compact lathe. Some of the features that I was actually quite surprised because actually I think this lathe stopped growing up because it has the features of a much bigger lathe. So 3 bearings here at the headstock, obviously 3-phase motor with the inverter for 230 volt electricity. The thread here is Acme thread, so what that means is this actually moves extremely fast, and it's that rugged thread which lasts longer actually. So, and it has a self-ejecting tailstock cone here. So it has all the nice features, and some of the features are user-friendly, which I actually quite like, which I'll show you. Like, you can remove this. It is heavy, And what I was talking about, the REGENT here, this feature, this has a stop, and you can move it up and down. Now obviously, to save cost, you can see the machining marks here, but with time those will fade because I turn a lot of green wood, and I clean with Scotch Brite pad the lathes and with the WD-40. So this kind of surface actually was on the REGENT as well. Maybe not this deep, but really close. So not much in it in terms of that. And like I said, with time I'll smooth that out. So locking levers also work nicely, and I can pull this out with one hand. It is heavy, but I can also put it on with one hand, which on the REGENT and the smaller lathe from Record Power that I had, you have to fiddle with the knob here because it had a lot of side-to-side movement. This one doesn't. This one has only front to back, and it's much easier to pull it in. Same with the banjo here. I'm doing this point and shoot style camera action because I think you can get better feel for the lathe. Now these knobs and everything works extremely well. This locking cam action here, it's really rock solid. Just have to tighten this, so it's a rock solid. Now from the start I might switch this eventually for a little bit bigger knob, something like this one here. This one is a little bit bigger, just personal preference, I guess. These are all, this is aluminum, so these are not plastic. They're not plastic parts that interact with the lathe like this anywhere, so that's excellent. Tool rest, I'll have to report you back how I feel it, but for now it's really rugged. So if we take a look here inside, again I might switch this for something faster, but although I never change the belt system here pulley, except if I turn something really big. So this has, like I said, 3 bearings here, and they are quite apart, so that's quite nice. And you can see it has a big pulleys and belt, so it's no joke of a lathe. So okay, so here is locking pin for the spindle. Now you can change the chuck if you have to. It's magnetic, so, and this is for the indexing here. Let's say, let's put it on a 21 here. You can see 21, align with this red dot and push it in. Now this has extremely low play, barely nothing. So let's try another one. Really no play at all. So if somebody does a lot of that feature with the indexing, so that's quite useful. And now what I like the most is this feature here. So it has fast start and stop and standard. Now it's on the standard, and there's a switch here at the back to turn the power on. And now you can see the revs here, and this control box is actually quite nice. When you turn it on, it lights the green light here, and this is now at the standard setting for the stop and start. Let's turn up the RPM, so we are at 935 and stop. So that's more than a half of time of the Regent, I would say. If I switch it to fast, even faster. So for now I'll leave it at standard, but I'll see if when I turn on something on how that works and everything. So this is the reverse. When you put it in the reverse, there is a light here that indicates that you're in the reverse, and pretty basic and quite nice setup here. Now this is on the middle pulley, so this is now all the way off, and the lowest on the middle pulley it will go, I believe, 150 or even lower. It says 150, but now I got it at 66. And let's try the fastest. Try to get so you can see it a bit better. 1946 and stop. And it stops quite fast regards the Regent. Now the humming you see, that's transfer a bit through this cavity here, but that doesn't concern me. The important thing is that there is no vibrations here and everything runs smooth. So, like I said, bed extension is on the way. I'll make a shelf here at this height here, a little bit above the table, and for the tools and everything, and for the dust hood, and we'll make dust hood as well, and change all of the setup here for the dust extractor, which you'll see when it arrives, and I might even do a separator, cyclone separator. We'll see about that. I think I forgot to mention that I bolted down to the bench here. So if you want to increase the stability of these lathes, highly recommend to build your own bench like this. Something similar, doesn't matter, and that provides excellent support for the lathe. Don't get me wrong, I like big lathes. I like how they feel, how they perform, the stability of it. I mean, it's excellent experience. But if you're on a budget, and for me at least, that's my opinion on this, don't take this personally or anything. When I started out, I didn't know if there was going to be a market for bows, for wood turnings in here in Croatia and surrounding countries. So I didn't feel to invest like $3,000 or €2,500 on a big lathe, and let's say have the investment fail because there is no market to sell your work. So that's why I said in beginner series when I talked about lathes, that is, go with a smaller lathe, but the best one you can afford. So this one costs, I believe, €1,400, but it's well worth the price. I believe now it's even on the sale, so it's €1,100, something like that. So for all the features, like the tailstock is quite beefy, the Acme thread is, I mean, I didn't have it on the Regent, so that's big lathe stuff. The three-phase motor, it's a big lathe stuff. Some of these features, fast and slow start, these are all type of features that you get mostly on a bigger lathe, and I don't feel that at least for now, there is no compromises. And like I said, before Christmas I'll do honest review. You can expect, no matter the reason that I got this lathe for free, you'll still get an honest opinion from me. And if you can afford a bigger lathe, then by any means go for it. But if you're not sure if this hobby, or if you want to make it a professional woodturner, and you don't know if this is going to work out in your area or your market or whatever, go with the middle lathes like this. There are numerous brands on the market, but this one is actually quite good. It's heavy, it's beefy, and it's a great lathe with great features that is going to be quite useful. And actually for this one, later I'll probably save it as my smaller lathe, and once I get the bigger one, this will be my teaching lathe, or maybe my son would like to turn on it, and we'll see, or backup lathe, let's say like that. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Jens, once again from KS Schulte. I'll leave a link down below. There is already some affiliate links from them, which you can buy KS gouges, or there will be other brand of gouges and scrapers, which I can give you a sneak peek here. Which you'll see in next few videos. Yeah, so once again, thank you all for watching, for support, for the questions, and okay, so let's do a little test. By the way, I swapped this handle for this one down there with the motor, so it's a little bit bigger. This one is just a smidge too small for me. So I have a piece of a faceplate, piece of cherry, just going to rough turn the outside, nothing special. Okay, so that's now spinning at 1200 RPM, spindle gouge, so that's on center pretty much. Let's test the torque, although this is a small piece of wood, nothing big. Okay. So that's the outside done. So to take off the screw chuck, faceplate, sorry. This faceplate will get turned into screw chuck. So as you saw, nice torquey motor. So no stall, no nothing. Although it's a small piece of wood. But next is a 4-way video, which I already do to make. But because of all this lathe and everything, I just didn't have the time. So that should be a real test for it. So